Welcome back to Ask Rad, where I answer all of your questions about skateboarding and skateboarding related topics. I do videos about every topic in the skateboarding world, from game reviews to skateboard controversies to trick histories. Subscribe so you don't miss anything like that. Okay, I got a couple questions for you today, a few more than a couple. The first one is from DRS, or Doctors maybe. What defunct company you'd like to see make a comeback, and what 90s or early 2000s deck brand had the best all-around team? So the company I'd like to see make a comeback is Savior, or Savier, or I'm not sure. It was a shoe company. I think I mentioned them in the past. Their shoes were like bulletproof. I skated some for I think like 9 months. And this is like daily, everyday skating these things. They were just indestructible. And I think that's probably why they went out of business. I only bought one. By the time I was ready for a new pair, they were out of business. So I would love to see those come back, or their formula or something, because those shoes were awesome. As far as who had the best deck brand in the 90s or 2000s, there are two I thought of. First was the A-Team. And if you don't remember that, I don't blame you. It was only around a couple years. It had Rodney Mullen, Mark Johnson, Dave Mayhew, Gershon Mosley, and Chet Thomas. And that was a crazy team. They did a lot of demos. They never put out a video, like an A-Team skate video. But if they did, I'm sure it would have been awesome. They started in 97 and went out of business around 2000. A lot of people think it's because of sort of their branding and their design language. Like, they weren't really saying anything. They were just kind of, here's some guys who skate, check it out. And that's why they didn't really take off. The second one I thought of was Decca, and that was around the same time, I think 2000, 2002 or so, where they had a video called Second to None, one of my favorite skate videos of all time. So they had Daewon Song, they had Chris Haslam, they had Shiloh Greathouse, had a bunch of other people. Their team was a lot bigger. That video was just crazy, and I loved it. That team was really, really strong. They closed down, renamed it, did a bunch of stuff. People got disconnected from it, went out of business too, but that one was really good while it lasted. Second question is actually a batch of questions from Turge, or maybe Turhey, I don't know. He asked a few things here. What's the best skateboard trick ever pulled? I just made a video about Rodney Mullen's 5 hardest tricks. I think that'd be a good place to look for some of the best tricks in the world. I couldn't really think of anything that was so far above everything else. So just check that out. If anyone watching has their own ideas, let me know in the comments. Best trick ever done, let me know. Now, the best video part ever. So I was just talking about Second to None. So I have that on the mind. I think Daewon in Second to None. He's got an amazing part. It's really long and it's just crazy. They're in this warehouse. They just build stuff for him to skate, and he just destroys everything. One of the craziest video parts in the world. Okay, most underrated skater. There are a couple different ways to think of this. Either like forgotten, or not given respect they deserve, or current skaters who are really good. I don't know. I got two answers for you. First is Ronson Lambert. This guy, he put out some of the craziest footage, some really technical stuff. Was just killing it, and he never really took off. You don't hear about him much. I think that's a shame. I think he really could have been a big pro. The other is Masahiro Fuji. He's mostly a freestyler, but if you see my video on Casper Flips, you see some of his early footage from like 1990, and that guy was doing every trick. He probably invented a lot of stuff, but the thing is, he was from Japan, and I think with a lot of the language barrier, especially at the time with no internet really, I think he probably could have been really big. Of course, freestyle was on its way out anyway, but who knows what would have happened. I think he deserves a lot more historical respect than he got. Next question, last one, was, did Frankie Hill invent going big on street? I read an interesting article. I think it was an interview of, I think, Sal Barbier. It was one of those guys from back then, and he was talking about how videos in the 80s really sucked. But it wasn't because the people in them were bad. It was because the company really wanted to like tell a story or just get a good shot, and it didn't matter what the trick was. Just like, hey, go do something, I'm gonna film it, and then you leave. And so even in Search for Animal Chin, if you watch that, there is some good skating in it, but a lot of it is like, let's just ride down the sidewalk and do nothing. And it doesn't really show off how good those guys were. So the point of this is, was Frankie Hill the first guy to start trying to do like big street stuff? Who knows? There were a lot of guys out there doing crazy stuff that no one felt like filming. So, you know, I don't really know. He was one of the earlier guys, but there's a lot of other names out there as well that were really pushing it, but it's just undocumented, unfortunately. So that's it for this time. Put all of your questions below, either in the comments or on Instagram or Twitter, links to those. Until next time, here are some more videos I made recently you might want to check out. And also my logo is on the screen right there. You can tap that to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.